Have you ever felt that nervous energy right before a first date? Your hands feel a little clammy, your heart's racing, and your mind keeps replaying, what if I say the wrong thing? It's completely normal. Almost everyone has been there. Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that people form their first impression within just 7 seconds of meeting someone? That's barely enough time to say hello. But here's the good news. You don't have to feel overwhelmed by this. There are simple ways to make those first few seconds and the entire date work in your favor. Stick with me, and I'll walk you through 3 straightforward tips that will help you stay calm, confident, and make a great impression on your first date. By the time we're done, you'll feel ready to step into that date with ease. I still remember my first date with someone I really liked. It was the kind of date where you want everything to go perfectly. I spent what felt like hours staring at my wardrobe, thinking, is this too formal or too casual? Then I rehearsed conversation starters in my head, only to worry that they'd come off as awkward. By the time I got to the restaurant, I was so caught up in my own nerves, I couldn't even enjoy the moment. Sound familiar? Maybe you've been in a similar situation where every detail feels like it could make or break the entire date. It's a lot of pressure, isn't it? We want to make a good impression, but in trying so hard, we sometimes forget to just be ourselves. The truth is, dating doesn't have to feel like a high-stakes exam. When you have the right mindset and a little preparation, you can shift from feeling anxious to genuinely enjoying the experience. And that's exactly what I'll help you do today with these 3 simple tips. Let's start with the first tip. Preparation. Preparation is key, but there's a fine line between being prepared and overthinking. Overthinking can not only stress you out, but also make you seem less authentic. So how do you find the right balance? 1. Choose your outfit. Pick an outfit that you've worn before and feel comfortable in. A first date isn't the time to experiment with new styles or uncomfortable shoes. Comfort equals confidence. 2. Plan ahead. Know where you're going, what time you're meeting, and how you're getting there. Planning the logistics removes unnecessary last-minute stress. 3. Conversation starters. Have a few easy go-to conversation topics. Think light and relatable, favorite movies, a recent holiday, or something interesting about your city. But don't script the entire conversation. It's not a job interview. 4. Take care of yourself. Get enough sleep, eat something light before the date, and stay hydrated. These simple steps can help keep your energy balanced. Imagine this. Instead of sitting there stressing about what to say, you ask a question like, "What's the best meal you've ever had?" Then, listen to their story. It's simple, but it sets a natural tone. Write down 3 questions you genuinely want to ask, like, "What's a hobby you'd spend all day doing?" Or, "If you could live anywhere, where would it be?" Having these in mind gives you confidence without sounding rehearsed. Now, here's the second tip. Focus on building a connection rather than trying to impress. The truth is, first dates aren't auditions. They're about discovering if there's a spark. Shift the focus away from selling yourself to being genuinely curious about your date. 1. Active listening. People love to feel heard. Show you're paying attention by nodding, maintaining eye contact, and occasionally paraphrasing what they say. For example, if they say, "I love going to the beach," you could reply, "That's awesome. What's your favorite thing to do there?" 2. Keep a 50-50 balance. Don't dominate the conversation. Aim for a back-and-forth rhythm. If you find yourself talking too much, pause and ask them something like, "What about you? How do you spend your weekends?" 3. Ask open-ended questions. Instead of yes or no questions, go for ones that spark stories like, "What's the most memorable trip you've taken?" Or, "What's a random skill you've picked up recently?" Imagine your date mentions they love cooking. Instead of jumping in with, "I make great pasta," try asking, "What's your signature dish?" This turns the spotlight on them and keeps the conversation flowing. Here's a challenge. During your date, repeat back one thing they say to show you're listening. For example, "Oh, you love hiking in the mountains? That's amazing. What's your favorite trail?" Finally, Let's talk about managing those pre-date nerves. Feeling nervous is natural. It means you care. But instead of letting it overwhelm you, learn to channel that energy into something positive. 1. Breathing techniques. Before your date, try this. Inhale deeply for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale for 4 seconds. Do this for a few rounds, and you'll feel your nerves settle. 2. Use a mantra. Tell yourself something positive before you head out, like, "I'm here to enjoy myself and be genuine." Saying it out loud reinforces the mindset. 3. Reframe nervousness as excitement. Instead of thinking, "What if I mess up?" reframe it as, "What if we have a great time?" This small shift can change your entire perspective. 4. Have a reset move. If you feel overwhelmed during the date, take a sip of water or excuse yourself to the restroom. Use that moment to take a deep breath and reset your mindset. Picture this. You're waiting at the coffee shop and your nerves kick in. Instead of spiraling, you take a deep breath, repeat your mantra, and remind yourself, this is just two people getting to know each other. Suddenly, you feel a bit lighter. Before stepping out the door, stand in front of the mirror and smile at yourself. Say, "I'm confident, I'm interesting, and this is going to be fun." It might feel a bit silly, but trust me, it works. Let's take a moment to address some common doubts that might still be lingering. It's natural to have concerns like, what if my date doesn't like me? Or, I'm not naturally confident. Trust me, you're not alone in feeling this way. But here's how we can reframe these thoughts to work in your favor. Objection 1. What if my date doesn't like me? Here's the thing. Dating isn't a performance where you're being judged. It's a two-way street. While you're wondering if they like you, they're probably thinking the same thing. And remember, it's not just about them liking you. It's also about discovering if you like them. Shift your mindset from, "I need to impress them," to, "Do I feel good about being around this person? Do they align with what I'm looking for?" When you go in with that perspective, you'll feel less pressure and more clarity. Before the date, write down 3 non-negotiables you value in a person. For example, kindness, a sense of humor, or shared interests. Use the date to see if they check those boxes, not the other way around. Objection 2. I'm not naturally confident. Confidence isn't about being the loudest or the most outgoing person in the room. It's about being comfortable with who you are. Even if you're naturally shy or introverted, you can still come across as confident by embracing your true self. Think of confidence as the ability to own your personality. If you're more reserved, that's okay. Lean into being a good listener. If you're bubbly, let that shine. Authenticity is far more attractive than trying to be someone you're not. Here's a quick exercise. Write down 3 things you genuinely like about yourself. They don't have to be big. Maybe you're a good listener, you make great tea, or you're kind to strangers. Keep these in mind as your strengths, and let them guide how you carry yourself. Imagine this. Your date mentions they're into something you know nothing about, like rock climbing. Instead of panicking about not being able to relate, try saying, "That sounds so interesting. How did you get into it?" This shows curiosity and confidence in admitting you don't know everything, which is far more genuine than pretending you do. Let's take a moment to imagine how this could go for you. Picture this. You're walking into your date feeling calm, confident, and ready to enjoy yourself. There's no pressure, no overthinking, just a genuine curiosity to learn more about the person sitting across from you. Vision of success. As you sit down, the conversation flows naturally. You laugh at each other's jokes, find common ground in your interests, and share stories that make the time fly by. You're not worried about saying the perfect thing because you're fully present in the moment. By the end of the date, you both leave with a smile, genuinely excited about the possibility of seeing each other again. Now, doesn't that sound like the kind of first date you'd love to have? Here's what I want you to remember. Your first date doesn't have to be a test you pass or fail. It can be fun, meaningful, and even something to laugh about later if things don't go perfectly. The key is to let go of the pressure and enjoy the experience for what it is, a chance to connect with someone new. You've got everything you need to make this happen. You're prepared, you're grounded, and most importantly, you're being your authentic self. That's the secret ingredient to a great first date, showing up as you are and letting the rest take care of itself. Before we wrap up, let's quickly go over the 3 tips we've covered today to help you nail your first date without feeling nervous. First, prepare without overthinking. Plan enough to feel confident, but leave room for spontaneity. Second, focus on building a genuine connection instead of trying to impress. And third, channel that nervous energy into excitement. It's all about reframing how you feel. These aren't just tips. They're tools to help you enjoy the process and feel good about putting yourself out there. Now it's your turn. What's your biggest first date fear? Is it awkward silences, making a bad impression, or something else entirely? Comment below and let's talk about it. I'd love to help you out. And hey, if you know someone who's got a date coming up, why not share this video with them? It might be just what they need to feel a little more confident and prepared. Finally, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that little bell icon so you never miss out on practical relationship advice. We're here every day to help you navigate the ups and downs of dating and relationships. You've got this. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see you again soon. Take care and good luck on your date.